Anvil Studios. Good morning and welcome to the first edition of the program Good Morning Salon for this week, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Today na Monday, December 9th, 2019. We where they bring the program come to you this Monday morning, Mina Khadija Bangora.
And Mabel Kaba, good morning. Inside this Monday edition of the program Good Morning Salon, the member them na the Salon People's Party SLPP don't agree for make President Julius Maada be the leader for the party and serve for make the Vice President Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo be the deputy leader for SLPP. The Deputy Director for African Department na the IMF don't say one way for improve Salon economy, government for pay more attention to for they do business with other countries them. And today inside the program Radio Democracy, we can talk to the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Alpha Timbo, where they can talk about plan them where it gets for improve labour issue them na the country.
Well, this and plenty other story them then at the program for you this Monday morning, plus the Minister of Sport, Ibrahim Yelenke, don't call on member them na the Salon Football Association for use the ordinary Congress registered at Potloco over the weekend for fix some part the problem them where don't they Hamburg football business na Salon. And Wakabot safe they inside the program for you this morning. Members say they listen to we live on www.radiodemocracy.sl, courtesy of Osiwa and powered by Africell. The program na Good Morning Salon. You can say also send we message on 077-981-981. Or if they watch we live now Facebook page, drop your comment on the issues them where they can discuss inside the program this Monday morning. Well, as you hear from one power headline story them today. Now the program, we go talk to the new Minister of Labour and Social Security, Alpha Timbo. We go talk about him plan the way he gets for improve labour issues them in the country. Now the studio this morning, I want to welcome the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Alpha Timbo. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Khadija. Everybody, good morning.
We get you this morning as another position.
Yes.
All right, welcome to the program. Continue for the week. We will join you shortly.
Thank you.
The first issue they look at in the program this morning as way for reduced human trafficking case then at the country make the Director of Public Prosecution, Ismon Gakwi, don't say the judiciary don't get special judge there now. We're going to look inside human trafficking case them. Ismon Gakwi talk this inside one training way advocacy movement network Amnet and then part of them all for magistrates them, prosecutor and parliamentarian them under one project where they name combating trafficking and protecting the rights of children, migrants and women victims through community engagement action in Sierra Leone. You know Kabia gets more on this and go reports.
The way how some people can travel with Pekin, woman and other people them for go with them na different place them. Who say them can go do different thing them like child labor, sex workers, nanny and other thing them. People we land book can call on human trafficking. Don't be one major concern na the world. And safe people and organizations them na Salon get serious concern but this.
We have to go see the various forms of trafficking, how people then they use the various means and ways, the deceptions and all those various means where they use for traffic people. We want to make actually let the perpetrators they know say what they do is bad.
That's not the voice of the head of programs for Advocacy Movements Network, Sam Banguram, where they talk inside one meeting where they all with parliamentarians, magistrates and prosecutors who say then go give them sabi on how to deal with human trafficking case them na the country. But why then select them three group of people here, Sam Bangura again?
The three sets of people they all invite, the prosecutors, the magistrates and the parliamentarians, they work interrelated. The Trafficking in Persons Act, say there is an existing one when at 2005, there is a process of enacting another one for improve on it, especially in terms of the term of imprisonment and a lot of other things then we're not very clear. So the new law then they try for promote, for enact, it make clear definitions on that. One for achieve clarity in terms of what you say. One for achieve for let the thing down. Let trafficking in persons end. Only way for achieve is for stop perpetrators from doing that. And the only way for stop perpetrators from doing that is when you punish them.
Adrian Fisher, now the consultants for the combating human trafficking and protecting the rights of child migrants and women victims through community engagement action in Sierra Leone project, say the report will come out from the U.S. State Department on trafficking for 2018-2019 show say Salon gets plenty thing for do for address human trafficking na the country.
The U.S. State Department report on trafficking for 2019 and 18 makes for sorry reading. Says Sierra Leone is not serious. We've got loads of investigation into trafficking. We've got no convictions. So we've not been able to find anybody guilty of trafficking. So the U.S. says, okay, fine. Now, as part of your MCC scores, you are not doing anything to fight against trafficking. So this year, 2019, is the last year that you're going to be on the Tier 2 watch list. So you have a choice. You either pull yourself up, as with Granada can say, get a Yusef, or you go to Tier 3. And if we go to Tier 3, the loss to Sierra Leone would be in excess of $500 million. So this underscores why trafficking is so important to be dealt with, because it's a money issue, that's one. Also, it's a reputational issue.
As one part in work now for look inside some part the issues them where they deal with human trafficking na the country. Ismon Dakwe, now the director of public prosecution, say the judiciary don't get special judge now. We go to look inside human trafficking case them na the country.
What we have done is to get a judge who will be looking to the trafficking matters. If we catch you up in trafficking, we get our papers ready in 1 week or 2, we can have a conviction. You're talking about guiding of your evidence where people may want to interfere with the victims. But this is the victim interference is one very great area. And that is what, in fact, I have said to my prosecutors. Once somebody is being accused, when we have the evidence, you don't see the letter day until you get to court. And that's why we're coming out with the 136 application, which is an application that will prevent us going to the magistrate court. Because each time we go to the magistrate court, this is where there will be a lot of delays. And then you have interferences with witnesses and the victims. And so by the 136 is a quicker way to get to the high court. And once we get to the high court, we ensure that they are not granted bail until the matter is quickly looked into.
I've been talked to people who have been part of this training and we get this for sale.
I am Honorable Brian Mansari of Constituency 017 Kenema District. There are new laws to trafficking which are going to be taken to Parliament very soon. The proposals have thought it fit that we as Parliament, it is going to end up before us, are to be part of the process before it reaches the final stage. Well, we think we are working in the interest of the people of Sierra Leone, and we know and we are quite aware of the fact what trafficking has caused our brothers and sisters of this country. So those laws basically that can make every Sierra Leonean comfortable, we are ready to pass them.
George Edwin, magistrate in charge of Cop number 1, Kenema. It means a lot for me because human trafficking is unique and then it's becoming alarming. So it's a call for a new act without prejudice. I think we need harsher laws, tougher ones, that will meet the test of time. And perhaps, in fact, mind you, the trend is on and it's going to be with us. The poverty-driven syndrome in Africa is going to drive this one on and on. So if we're going to make laws, we must make laws that will serve generations to come.
Detective Assistant Superintendent of Police, I'm DASP Joanna Mesbo. For over 8 years now, we've not got any conviction. I am a prosecutor. I'm also an investigator. Okay. And I know exactly what trafficking is doing in the country. This particular training for both prosecutors, magistrates, and parliamentarians is very important. We already have a draft, and we know that if that draft goes to Parliament and that bill is enacted, we'll be well prepared in our country to be able to handle traffic.
But with all the modality they are, where the authority they don't put in place, people hope say human trafficking go reduce na salon. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Kabia the report.
The program is still listening. A good morning, Salon. They come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. Still at the studio, we get Alpha Timbo. We're in at the new Minister of Labor and Social Security. There this morning, they can look at some the labor issues them and some plan them where we get for solve some of the problem them where we command them don't they get with the people there, we can employ them and save other issues them we get for do with labor. But before we go into the labor issues then, Mr. Minister, where President Bill take up power, one of the first set of ministers them, and you been the champion, the flagship program of His Excellency the President, Dr. Julius Maada Bio, when are the free quality education. Now you don't come out na the Ministry of Education, you don't go now na the Ministry of Labor. Just a quick recap of how you left the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, where we talk about the implementation of the free quality education.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Pambulem. Well, for the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, when the President promised the people of Sierra Leone, say, he will introduce pre-quality school education program, we know, say, governments get a number of competing priorities them. But when once the President don't talk, now the duty of the minister for make sure it translates what in the President talk to reality, so that it will reflect the ethos of it talk and do. So for we, now the Ministry of Education will make sure, say, on record time, the President launched the free quality education program, where he announced the first phase of the implementation of the program itself. The program, he take into consideration first the SLPP manifesto. Then from there, watching the President talk in Parliament, and from there also other things that we've been talking during the time of the campaign. So now he make the pronouncement for the implementation of the first phase of the free quality education was very strategic. First, he say you go make sure say no picking no pay admission and tuition fees na the government and government assisted school. That we will for achieve. Apart from that, he been say they go supply teaching and learning materials to the schools then. That also will be able to achieve them. The third one, he will say they go provide the core textbooks them on English language, maths, integrated science and social studies. That also the government be able for them. Then he been committing himself for say for remove the burden where they prevent the picking them from transit from one level of education to the other. When are the NPSC fees, the Becker and the WAS, he promised, that also the President fulfilled that one day. A number of them things and the President talked them on the first phase of the free quality school education program. So do them, we accomplish them. Then the other key manifesto commitment now the question of phasing out of the school fee, the shift system. So what do we do as a ministry strategically now for do an assessment of the school situation, particularly in the western area, and look at the schools that already operate double shift system. You and they will just need furniture for make them revert back to a single shift system. So address them one and make sure see them provide for them furniture like them Bishop Johnson Secondary School, then St. Joseph's Secondary Schools now. So make sure see them provide them so that the process for reversion to a single shift could start, because the manifesto stipulation are 3 years. So then they on course. The President promised you go phase out the 6344 to 6334 as provided for in the Act. Then they also will be able to accomplish them. So a number of accomplishments we able to do them. But since that the first phase of the program, I believe say the President and the government do tremendously well for make sure say the aspects say they will do them. Of course, that involved for put into mechanisms how the future get for be. So the free education is anchor on 3 main principles. We always don't talk on the issue of access, equity, and completion. And access now means say every picking for try for good school, and which means they will approve more schools so that more picking they will get opportunity for to go to school. So I want to say we approve schools then during my tenure for start the process of improving the access. In terms of the second component, which is the quality of the system itself and the relevance of the system, as well as the integrity of the system, we start the process. When I be done the area how them picking and the grumble for say this time around, then they monitor extensively the issue of public examination. Yes, that was one of the key strategy for make sure say people then begin know now say the term they don't pass where people in the harbor for sex for grades or cash for grades. So therefore make sure say the aspect of quality we strengthen them. So now I make the alala in the camp, which they have put WAEC. So that's we feel say ongoing, and the new minister will pursue vigorously that side. The last component have been the system strengthening for make sure say it provide education governance down to the school level. Because what don't happen over the years, a lot of the programs in education, they center around workshops in big hotels, seminars, and this, forgetting the classroom, what they take place there. And a day the teaching and learning they take place. So that's nine are the challenge. And as he said, the new minister, okay, don't begin visits classrooms there. They don't begin schools there. So for familiarize. So that is very strategic. So I feel say, so far, in summary, we try for do what you were able to do at the limited time, and we believe say moving down the second year for the implementation, going to the third and the fourth, the government could not able to achieve a greater part of what the president promised.
So with the game we don't change at the peak of the implementation of the first phase, you get any regrets for left the Ministry of Basic Education at this stage?
No, we in a batch of passages, they appoint you for a particular, I know they give say when they appoint you, they are from this period to that period. You understand? I don't get regrets because government now continue. These are the cabinet still will get opportunity for participate, especially in the discussions relating to education.
But
so I
you
not get
prefer
regrets.
any other ministry other than the one we do now in a labor?
Labor have done the data there. We can today. Every ministry very important. The only thing when you start something, you will wish for see how it complete and to some extent. But as I say, the president in considered opinion, I believe say yanda, you have the candidate back, he will for continue. And while he believes say that the Ministry of Labor expects for make and do certain things, we maybe if he say try not be this see they happen.
All right, continue for the between at the studio. That's Alpha Timbo, the new Minister of Labor and Social Security. They are this morning, they can't tell about plan them where it gets for improve on issues them we get for do with labor under in administration. The program they continue with a short break.
It's our future. Let's write it.
It's our future. Let's write it.
Salon they develop new national youth policy.
Yes, now Salon government through the Ministry of Youth Affairs and then partner them. Day before, and Yusuf can join them.
The new national youth policy go guide government and in partner them, support to young people them for the next 5 years, and they want to make it give you idea for develop this policy.
So young people and people we want to see young people develop na Salon can join this process.
If you na young person or want to see young people them na Salon develop, you can add your voice to this process, and for do so na for text the word join to 2018 na Orange or Africell network for free and join new reports.
The new national youth policy na chance for shape the country in future.
The new reports na side for talk about things where you believe say important for young people then development na Salon.
Make we hear your voice. Involve yourself for develop the new national youth policy. Join new reports and text join to 2018 na Orange or Africell mobile network for free.
It's our future.
Let's write it.
All right, we continue with the program. Good morning, Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy, 98.1 FM. The time for my studio clock now 7:48, and we still get Alpha Timbo, where na the new Minister of Labor and Social Security na the studio with we. They can't tell we some plan them we get for improve on the Labor Ministry. Mr. Minister, earlier before we go for that break, we will talk about the ministry wages come out, where na the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. Normally, where presidents then can make reshuffle or reappoint minister them to various ministry them, most people can think say the ministry where they pull the minister there, so they not only do too well there, and the president feels say you go be appropriate in a certain ministry. At any point, you don't feel say the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education big for you or for implement the free quality education when at the flagship program of His Excellency too big and it reached to a point where if you say not go able?
No, I think say the implementation of the free quality is not big for me in terms of capacity for driving. What's most important for start. See, we start something, you put the correct strategy in terms of moving forward, not too difficult. Of course, the challenges you will face there along the line. But as I've been saying just now, the presidents get a prerogative. Normally, in they look how the country they run. And me, basically, he explained to me one of the reasons why I say African Ministry of Labor again. Right? And I think say that particular aspect where you talk, it gets some validity. I will talk about that at some point in time. But the fact remains that the Ministry of Education Now, a very critical ministry in the sense that Boku people and the expectations are high they pass the other areas them, of course, because every parent get either Pekin, or if you don't get Pekin, you get sister, you get brother, where they affect them. So it's very sensitive, that particular area. So now a very big ministry. But that is not to say that when you did it, for develop specific skills, we go able for make sure she man the situation. So for me, I believe the president knows they are capable for do that thing, but at the same time, if you say they go so, there are certain things they will lack in the way one for.
But at some point, you say this reappointment or the switch being come with mixed feeling. I remember you talk in an interview with one power reporter, the Mohammed Sharif. You say now appointments will really come with mixed feeling. You get so much plan for the ministry.
Yes, of course. When you dip on some side, you just do 1 year and some, right? When you know say the enormity of the task is high, and you don't begin set up certain things here, you go expect say you go stay for some time, for make you do that. But we side and happen, it can happen. It's natural. But the fact remains that it's very clear that the vision has been set up, right? And in terms of implementation, we feel say we'll not get any doubts now for sure we'll be able to move along with the pre-education process. Especially so when you take into consideration the fact that we try for make sure say we beef up the ministry, because what may affect the ministry in a lack of staff, the capacity of the staff. People then we don't really now some of them no meets the expectations of the new direction again, right? And the staff we need more. So but because government committed before they left, so I left now, then almost they can recruit about almost 200 persons so they can at the Ministry of Education. So when the one they come, it would definitely accelerate the implementation of the free quality school education program. But if not the staff number will be get thin one, when I feel they able for work effectively, it will be very difficult for implement them. But based on what don't happen so far, we think say government go able for do them.
So now take you to the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, USAI you they oversee now. So many issues don't they na the ministry for some time now, even the past minister we don't get at some points we been say it's very challenging for look at some of the issues then they get major one day we get for the people who want to go find work overseas, you get a minimum wage and so many other things then at the ministry. But among them why you all from your own background, you don't work at the ministry before, at this point where you don't be the minister, who's one of the most pressing issue when you look at Ministry of Labor and Social Security at the moment?
Well, for the Ministry of Labor, many years people then they look at the Ministry of Labor as if like not to a very big ministry. The Ministry of Labor now one of the biggest ministries in government when you take into consideration the mission of the ministry as well as in vision, right? And because the Ministry of Labor cut across almost all the sectors in the economy, now it makes sometimes, if you're not strategic in the way they carry out the work of the ministry, it will appear as if they do something. But that is not the case. The mission of the ministry now for develop and implement policies and programs on employment creation, workplace harmony. This is very important. Safety and health at work, as well as an inclusive social security, social protection system. That are the mission of the ministry. So in terms of vision, it promotes and facilitates remunerative when they say that what person work, what you get. Like when they say there should be dignity in labor and productive employment. And the words are carefully selected. They're not just say employment, say productive employment, like Unade so na 98.1. Certainly, if somebody want for can work here, you want for coordinate the program when they do so, but at one point in time you don't appear one or two, you not able to meet up to the challenge, definitely not productive. So that person they not fit for that particular person. Either sign up for go do other thing, or you train her for making it become more capacitated. So it promote dignity of employees as well as employees through decent work. So the ministry is very strategic as far as that area is concerned. So in terms of priority, when we come, I still deep and get consultations with the various divisions of the ministry. Of course, I don't get challenged. The press want talk to me as to what will happen, so I'm not able for the balance the press up to this particular point in time. But which I want for do this time, I don't want for do anything in a haste. I know say the ministry divide into two main cadre. You get the administrative, you get the professional. The administrative, now the permanent secretary, then the deputy secretaries, the auditors, the procurement, and everything. But the professional wing, when I did the key pan the ministry, it is also in two. You get the industrial relations side, you get the factory inspectorate side. All of them are big aspects then. So in terms of looking at what constitutes a priority, I come and meet the outgoing minister. Don't do very well in that ministry. They must confess that side, because in terms of policy formulation, you don't try. I come and meet the labor migration policy. I don't meet the employment policy. I don't meet and don't try for make a number of bills and legislation, and don't try for make sure they ratify a number of ILO conventions them, and make sure them work towards domesticating them, so that at the end of the day, then would be part of your own statute.
You make mention of one very important policy where you say you meet the previous minister that already put in place, when are the employment policy. And you self go agree with me, say employment are one of the main challenges Sierra Leone in the face right now, especially the young people we make them go look for greener pasture in other country them. Also most time they can lost their life during the process. As the new minister, how you going to ensure say you implement this particular employment policy, it work well, and Sierra Leonean them get jobs so they can go look for another country in Salonia?
Well, the employment policy, first of all, a need for effectively popularizing. You see, because many times people in terms of industrial relations system, even employers, then sometimes they don't know what thing for do for make sure say they conform. One of the beauty now the Ministry of Labor now the issue of tripartism. That is the social partners, the employers and the organizations, the workers and the organizations, them, and also government. So, in terms of implementation of the policy, it defines that for say each establishment get their own system of appointment, the way and the career progression, as well as termination and dismissal. What in the Ministry of Labor they do now for make sure you regulate the minimum standards where they cover that particular aspect there. And then they covered by the law. You see, in many of their employment situations here, you get what you call trade group negotiating councils. We cover various sectors in the economy. That is to come to the teaching profession, you get like the teaching service trade group negotiating council, where they talk about terms and conditions of service for teachers for that side. So then they all conform with the employment policy. The employment policy just to provide the basic framework where other employers in the face. So 98.1 as an employer, supposed to make sure say when you employ somebody, you forget a letter of appointment. Because it's clearly the period when the employment starts, and what are the conditions for constitute a probationary period, and at the time where they confirm the person, because all of them need a very significant.
So you plan for review all land sector, yeah, because as it is, many institutions and they will like just they take people in, not they pay them, but then they work with them.
No, you see, now that's what they can do this time now enforcement. You see, the laws they mean on the employers and the employed act is very clear about what an employer is supposed to do for an employee. You get the Workers' Compensation Act when somebody they work, is sustain injury, what is supposed to be. You get the Factory Inspectorate Act where BC employers and establishment, they're what they're supposed to do for provide health and safety. So all of them things they know they do. Some of them are archaic bits, but the fact remains that some of them are still relevant. So what are the try for do this time now for concentrate more on enforcement. Right? Enforcement, because now him done the lacking over the years. They find out for say some people are negligent in their responsibilities. It go for both employers and workers. But the focus will be harmonizing the work of the employers and the employees then. Because we therefore appreciate what in the employers and they do, because without the employers, people are not to get a job. And many a time would they fail for look at some of the constraints where the employers and they face for make them able for provide more jobs for people. Yesterday, I get the opportunity for be confronted by one person where somebody where the employee used them, but Kuchumak. Right? I go Wellington. He see me and I say, Minister, she said, wait. He said, I want to talk to you. He said, now you don't get a Ministry of Labor. He said, well, they don't talk about the minimum wage too. Where they say party be 600. Right? He say some of we now we in establishment there. He says 2 days number some people in the can't work. He say 2 days now in the can't work. He said that they would give them then 400,000. He say if they say pass will they put them down. So I get for explains here, the law make provision for side agreements then, right? What they get for. So boku of them here people they don't know. So what you really can do in tenure now for make sure we popularize the labor laws. Let people know the obligations of the employers and let people know the obligations of employees then. But the overriding points now for make sure say we promote employment, both formal and informal. So that could be my focus. So if you talk about priority, now for harmonize the relationship between employers and their organizations and workers and their organization, and consistent with the industrial relations.
Minister, we'll come back to you. We time from studio clock now 1 minute past 8. Will they take this commercial break?
Salon Commercial Bank don't come with new banking products them for make life easy. With Million Online Bank and Million Mobile app, you can able for use Salon Link money transfer for send money to anybody like you no get bank account. Transfer or receive money na the same bank or any other bank. Transfer money to person or office like you not get the account number. Buy Edsalight, pay other bill them, and now get advanced salary. You don't need for worry again, but almost money then you earn. Because you can able for pay for things the way you buy in a supermarket and other shop them with the quick response code payment. Yagbadon done for we boss man them. With Beyond Online Direct, you can upload salary, pay all your supplier them, sell forex to Salon Commercial Bank, and watch your account anytime. If you need the app, download them from Google Play Store or any Apple Store, or go to Salon Commercial Bank website www.slcb.com. Sierra Leone Commercial Bank, delivering value.
The program na Good Morning Salon, they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We will bring the program come to you this Monday morning. Mina Khadija Bangura
and Mabel Kaba.
We look at more issues them inside the program and when they take one per we headlines to read them. Also, the Minister of Sports, Ibrahim Yelenke, don't call on member them at the Salon Football Association for use the ordinary Congress for solve some party problem them where he said on the Hamburg football business na Salon for long term. Ibrahim Yelenke talk this inside the SLFA ordinary Congress will be na Potloko over the weekend with the theme Fix the Problem, Not the Match. For more on this, let me join with sports reporter Musa S. Kamara.
The ordinary Congress na Potloko over the weekend. Now one of the three Congress them, we member them na the Salon Football Association for old as part of the solution for solve the plenty problem them where don't they be pan Salon Football and don't they Hamburg and for long term now. Key among the purpose of the Congress now for adopt the SLFA statutes. And the theme for the Congress now fix the problem, not the match. With the amount of difference and misunderstanding, where don't they be pan football over the past year them, make the Minister of Sports Ibrahim Yelenke say SLFA member them for use this Congress for better the game.
It is very clear that the very essence of existence of the game was to achieve these things. To first of all entertain, create fun, and in doing so we are making great financial benefits, also unifying and creating jobs for thousands of people.
This make Ibrahim Yelenke call on them for forget about them personal benefits and consider Salon and the future of football in the country.
When they start making decisions today, please look beyond your individual interest, swallow your pride, think about the desperate youth of this nation, and think about Sierra Leone, the bigger future. Please. Think about the future, be sincere to this nation and to your conscience. Mind you, tomorrow, posterity will judge all of us.
For long term now, member them na the Salon Football Association no go Congress for talk about team them where they push the game go before. This make plenty difference between and among SLFA members and the executive. But this according to the representative from the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, Alexandra Groh. Say this Congress not for focus on the past but the future.
The revision of the statutes that is taking place today, or the adoption of the revised statutes, should I say, it's a partial revision. We know that there are many more changes that need to be done to the statutes of the Sierra Leone FA, but we don't want to do these now, prior to an election, in order to avoid that there is any contention, that there is any even space for there to be any suspicion. The changes to the statutes are changes that are going to help to enable for an election to be conducted in April in a clear, fair, democratic manner, with an electoral code, with an electoral committee and an electoral appeals committee that are ratified by you, the Congress. This is the best way of making collective decisions in order to ensure that the results are accepted by all. So I just wanted to clarify this and to, again, repeat that what has happened in the past has to stay in the past. I can only encourage you, like the Minister said, to use sport and to use football as a tool in order to bring happiness, in order to bring development, in order to bring people.
The second session of the Congress has been 5-hour deliberation with plenty agreements and disagreements, motion and counter-motion, and one of the popular characteristics of football over the past year them being showcased at the Congress.
Let us demonstrate patriotism and put aside every amount of money we have in for one another. This is real. Ladies and gentlemen, please let's take our seats. Security, please come in where you please sit down. Mr. Buba.
After long debate, member them be able to make major decisions them where be done they bring disagreements among them, we make some member them be done they go courts, but they be able settle some of them tiyan at the Congress, like for add pan the Premier League team them, as member them be agree for add 4 team na the Saloon Premier League, where 2 they come up from the north, and the 2 go they between the east, west and south. Member them be same way so agree for accept Falaba, Karene and Northwest as member them na the Saloon Football Association, as send districts and region ya, na new one them way born after the boundary delimitation process. As intake in member them to the first Congress, waiting next. Now the question way have been put to the president for the Saloon Football Association, Aisha Johansson, after the Congress.
31st of January is the second. We get 3 phases, 3 Congresses. This one, the ordinary Congress, adopting the statutes will just complete now successfully. And the second one now will have to be, the integrity test will run, and also the different committees and the electoral bodies will be elected as well. So that's going to be a big major step towards the elective Congress. And after that, we go into April for the election. So we walk.
Okay, going by this Congress, what do you think say na the achievement way the FAB1 achieve over the years we members then don't they call for who na don't can achieve today?
Discipline, compliance. At the end of the day, exactly what Amity preached 6 years ago or even 4 years ago in the 2015 aborted Congress. Now that we don't come back to only this time. Now FIFA me get for drag we and guide we like a small picking and put we down and say you will have to abide by these rules. So I mean, what have I achieved or what have we achieved? We've achieved exactly what we should have done in 2015. So until then there's certain things that get for happen for make better come out.
Waiting member them make up of this Congress.
Mina Abdullah Solima Kamara, District Secretary for Carine Football Association. Well, for me, these are the first time for make a witness SLFA Congress, and I believe that it's a very big success. What's happening here this today, you understand? It's quite different from the opinion where people are all out there say, now so this Congress will look like.
I'm the chairman for all evidence. Well, as usual, SLFA Football Congress always get contentions. We get many issues will be for discuss. We not finish most of the issues. We not discuss the SLFA statute. We not discuss the integrity part will be for adopt. So we get for try for do that in January coming. So this is something that I think we have.
Kenema, now the next destination for the Saloon Football Association member them, who said they go get the extraordinary Congress inside February 2020. We go lead them to the elective Congress na Makeni inside April 2020. We said they will decide whether they will continue with Aisha Johansson in leadership as president for the association or pick new president for run the association. For the Society for Radio Democracy, Musa S. Kamara.
9 minutes after 8, now the time from the studio clock, and we still get the Minister of Labour and Social Security, Alpha Timbona, the studio. And Mr. Minister, still on the issue we get to do with local employment, where we begin to support earlier. Waiting at the plan them where you get for look at institutions them where still they get problem with them staff them where you look at the issue of benefits, the issue of NASITs and so many other concerns them where the employee then can get against the employer them. How you plan for Andulang?
Well, as I say, the ministry gets a division within the ministry who is responsible for industrial relations. Now they look into industrial disputes them. If somebody gets an issue with the employer, normally we expect the establishment get what you call a union representative. Right? In the school system, we call a school representative. Then people then the union and the management, they agree for make them look into disputes them where they happen within the establishment then. But sometimes the then issues they will erupt, then they above their representation, then they will compel the worker for right to the Ministry of Labor for complaint, maybe the employer.
So they can write individually or they
yes, they can write individually. Some of them same they not know say the union supposed to do this. Some then can get mistrust on the union leadership, especially if they see the union and the management then get a cordial relationship, where sometimes most of it not like misconception. But that for be the process. Therefore, always try for solve the issue at the departmental level or the section level, not the establishment them. But who are not able now, they can bring the matter now to the union officially. And the union, if you're not able, the person can come down at the Ministry of Labor for can complain. If we complain, now the duty of the ministry through the industrial relations section for assign an officer for looking to the matter. And what in the law provide, when the matter can at the Ministry of Labor, the expectation is that it can take longly. So, but over the years, because the matters then they can't take long at the ministry, and Sunday na did and they die. Now, him been compelled me at the time where I've been there as Minister of Labor, that time I set up the industrial court. Because then say, if a matter come to the minister, within 21 days, where they bring them matter, then they, if for try for make you able for resolve them. Who say not able for resolve them, the minister can refer the matter to the industrial court for settlement. So I've been not set up the industrial court years back. We make sure say now, employers then, we get for pay an employee maybe a benefit of just 5 million working recalcitrant for doing when you send the matter in a court, because they know say forget a lawyer for represent and self something you don't pass that amount, then they settle a bit. So the industrial court today, and I please for tell you say today we get the opportunity for go commission the new and the revised version of the industrial court plus the social security. You mentioned including social security. The social security self will get issues there will get for do with establishment complying with the provision of the act, self-employed persons who don't register to the scheme, not continuing their contributions, as well as other disputes that were over the years then stipulated in the act itself. But because establishment then can cut money, they not they pay. So today we will get the opportunity for go commission the first social security
with
court.
the introduction of this social security court we did talk about. So Mr. Minister, I go surprise you for no, or I don't know if you are aware say Boku employer then they we not even they pay them workman them according to the minimum wage where parliament's been turned into law since the time it is 500,000 and now 600,000. We then cut there, and some of the labor laws them we say you don't put in place, and the person will be at the ministry itself don't put in place. How we go ensure say employer them begin pay them workman them the minimum wage and it become effective through monitoring?
You see, the only way they're going for DUAM, you see, the mandate of the ministry is very big. That particular aspect, they fall under the issue of wages and labor inspection. That are the mandate of the ministry, wages and labor inspection. You see, the Ministry of Labor get right for enter into establishment, check the establishment, whether they pay the minimum wage or not pay minimum wage. But as I talk so, based on the meeting where I don't hear with the staff, no mobility, not the right now, no underbikes, no vehicles. So it's very difficult for make them go carry out labor inspection. And these are some of the things that we can change work at the ministry. Because if you want for make them go inspect establishments and make sure they can conform people and pay the minimum wage and pay the people and correct salaries, they just get for inspect. Right? That besides, you get aspects of industrial unrest where they happen at various areas in the country. Like day before yesterday, one agricultural company, I think people in strike, they express, they get for run. I get call from somebody, they want to let the ministry go there. If they not get mechanism for move there, go get on their bikes or vehicles, they're not going to able to do that day. So the labor inspection aspect of that has to be strengthened. And that one day, the reason why it's very important because now in they protect the worker. right? For make sure see employers then conform to the expected agreed terms and conditions of service for the employee. But government get for spend on that side for make that they go happen. And that besides, even the employers them, when you visit them, you'll be able to understand the constraints within they face, especially with some of the employees then. Some employees then bad, right? So not to all the time for protect them no more. Because we want to make sure we preserve jobs again for the one that will be see them willing and capable for work. So that kind of industrial harmony, as a minister of labor, for always try for make sure you do that there. But there is a lot that the ministry is supposed to do as far as that particular area is concerned. But the good thing what I want to mention to people, the staff who are missed this time at the ministry, very, very young people, they look very much energetic, and we feel say we'll be able to bring them to speed so that they will be able to carry out some of their activities. So that's one thing where I feel happy about based on my short interaction with them a week ago.
Continue for David Swin at the studio, Alpha Timbo. We will come back to you. Let me just take this short commercial break. The time from the studio clock now 8:15.
Better don't come. Now Union Trust Bank again. Union Salon Banco. Union Trust Bank get plenty product and service there for you. You must get waiting you want to go better. Let me savings account, ide. Current account, ide. Fixed deposit account, ide. Credit facility, ide. All for you. Me and you. Me and you. Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Kids future savings account, ide. School fee savings account, ide. Pay advance salary scheme, ide. We branch and they all up but not alone. Boko no kenema, we de. Kabala mabogo kakambia, we de. Jala free town loan sa, we de. And my 91, me and you. Union Trust Bank, me and you. Union Trust Bank, Union Trust Bank, that's a loan for me and you. Union Salon Banco, Union Trust Banco.
Union Trust Bank, empowering Sierra Leonean businesses.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue with a look at one pound with headlines to read them. Also, some law them now. The Salon People's Party SLPP constitution over the year, we don't bring chamot among some of them member them. Where this make the party decide for look inside the constitution and see how they go review them. Some pardon lawyer. Well, Friday, December 6th to Sunday, December 8th this year, the SLPP party hold their National Delegates Conference, Nakatsko Conference Hall, na Wilkinson Road. Also, among other things, them, the party don't put na the constitution say, President Julius Madabio forbid the party leader and the Vice President, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallo, forbid the deputy leader of the SLPP party. Elizabeth Campbell gets more on this and go report.
Alright, we will try for bring that story day later on at the program. We will continue the program Good Morning Salon, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Alpha Timbo still there with at the studio in the Minister of Labour and Social Security. We will look at some pan the labor issues them and some pan plan them we get for tap some of the issues there, so we will command them they get with the people or then they work for. Earlier we talk about employer them and the employee them and some of the conditions of service and save some we not agree for pay the employer them the minimum wage. Another issue again we be done they come up this being team. Now the issues of security company them, they hire Sierra Leonean them. At the end of the day, then they close the company them and tap for work without they give them benefits them. Or don't they get different complaint in Radio Democracy, and most time the workman and they allege say the Ministry of Labour they take them case them too serious. What are you plan for looking to the issues there so between workman them and the employer them with benefits?
That is very critical. The issue it is get to do with the people that will be can wind up their operations them and leaving the workers them unattended to based on accrued benefits we they're supposed to get. That's very important. I'm not going able to prescribe a solution that for that conclusively, because it will need the cooperation of the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Trade, and others. Because for us in the Ministry of Labor, when once the person don't register in company, it become a legal entity. Now in place for make sure say he register the establishment now the social security scheme, so that if na single employee self he get, that particular employee they supposed for register under the social security scheme. When he fail for register, he attract a penalty, right? Now the Social Security Act, but I'll talk about that at some point when I will come for can talk specifically on what in our plans for NASHIT. So the establishment supposed to register the employees and make sure say them pay the prescribed amount of social security contribution, 5% for the employee and 10% for the employer they contribute pay to the social security scheme. When once they do that, at the end of every year, that particular establishment, they amongst others, before you go attract anything from government, it's supposed to get what you call a social security clearance certificate, for so you comply fully with the provisions of the Social Security Act. However, the ministry not able to know what in the liquidity position of that particular company in terms of the amount of money we then get in a bank. Where it be say if you fold up today, if you be not employ like 50 people and then people and they don't work for over 1 year or 2 years, they attract what you call end of service benefit. So if the ministry don't know and that particular company just they take the money out, now they lead to then situations and the way it be say the company fold up, you not able for pay. So as at now, I'm not going to prescribe saying that this I go do pandani, but these are aspects that we will get for sit down with the Ministry of Trade, the Ministry of Finance for look at what will be the position of establishments then as they continue for exist in the country vis-a-vis the employers.
Apart from,
so it's very important,
apart
because
from
then
them,
things don't happen.
Apart from them security company there and the workman them concern what always to you. So another issue again, now the issue of manufacturing company them working hire workman them during the course of the work, then get any sort of casualty or somebody lost in life day. Benefits them back working go to them family them. Now one way can be serious challenge, family member then can end up working at the community. At the end of the day, they're not able to forgive them the benefit of the person we lost in life.
No, one of the mandates of the Ministry of Labor are promoting occupational safety and health, right? You get a special division for that. We're headed by a directorate for now. And that goes side by side with the Workers' Compensation. And you get the Workers' Compensation Act. All of them here, there are rules and laws will govern that particular. As I've been talked originally, it get to do with implementation. And since I just can now at the ministry, I don't want to be negative, right? But prior to the time when maybe they left at the ministry, at the time when I've been getting me first in day, I get to make sure I prescribe the rules and regulations we govern the Factory Inspectorate Act of 1974. And because many times government and they make their mistakes, then they put out an act, but they know they come out with regulations. The regulations normally now they prescribe the procedures for implement the act and the gaps they work in the process of implementing the act, because the act most of the time are legal something. What me want for say as far as that particular area is concerned, we get for intensify labor inspection. The issue of occupational health and safety as well as workers' compensation is clearly prescribed in the Act. When and how an accident should be reported, who should do it, when and how, the form in which it is prescribed for make it follow. So all of them in the day. So we get to take massive awareness campaign for make people and go understand what in the process is where they go pass through for make them go for attract the benefits of that nature. Of course, the employers have get a responsibility for report the accident. So all of their obligations they did and they within the provisions of the act. So what are they say for now? When we promote good working relationship between the employers and the workers, all of their issues are going to come to pass. We don't have for good this time in the fighting.
Are they taking out
we get to make sure we work towards them, work through them, because everybody will employ somebody in a factory. You're not going to let the person go wound anyway.
I got taken out to the issue of overseas employment. Yeah. At some point, we see government being put a ban on certain companies them not for make they take people money so then they find work for them in other country. So as a latest developments at the ministry, wait you meet at the desk as to the status of overseas employment for people who want come out salon.
The policy has been formulated. You get a draft bill, and then one of the priorities where I get for undertake. You know, the issue of employing overseas is an international phenomenon. And Sierra Leone, they no go sit down, they no benefit for that. Me sit down, so now me introduce the employment overseas, Ministry of Labour. I me first introduce them. Go to late Patrick Foya, that and then I be ambassador na Conakry. These are opportunities where available for utilization by any country. Ghana the benefit, Nigeria the benefit, even as I talk so. We get people away supposed for able for go na Poland. So just like how we get people who come out, they can't work here. That's what Sierra Leoneans themselves get right for go.
But so many complaints don't they come from some company where they take people their money when people can reach there from salon, then they see when they cannot promise it and they go do na different thing.
No, na the man how them they do them. I mean introduce that so they can't streamline that properly. The good thing where deep now is to make sure say the ministry be not stipulate some criteria for companies that will qualify for able recruit people. Which I don't do is I don't request for make them give me an up-to-date of them companies and the name of the company in registered office as well as in shareholders them and in partners abroad. That is ongoing with them. Will make sure see them bring to me, and I make sure see the migration policy we already done. They will make sure see people and popularize them. But definitely not until we continue. You get for discontinue. Now something we get for pursue. In the absence of you providing jobs exclusively for people, and the only opportunity we people can get and for able for get access overseas. So that one, they pursue them and they make sure they will lift the ban and ensure they will conform with international best practice.
All right, continue for the between at the studio, Alpha Timbo, Minister of Labour. Let me just quickly go in our studio to and listen to the reports where Elizabeth Campbell do from the SLPP National Delegates Conference where they may get over the weekend.
As a national chairman and the leader of the SLP, what do you think about the position of the leader and deputy? Are you satisfied with the process?
Very, very satisfied. Very satisfied. Because there's no other way except that's a natural way of events.
Voice of the chairman and leader for the Sierra Leone People's Party, Dr. Prince Adin, where they talk for where them as member them na the SLPP party, agree for separate the national chairman position from the national leader position na the National Delegates Conference. All this weekend for look inside the SLPP draft constitution, where we don't they bring chamot among member them na the party for the past 10 years. But before they start for look in the draft SLPP constitution, the President Dr. Julius Madabio, INSAI, he talked about the developments them where they carry on at the country from residents, and same way so throw light on the electricity challenge where Freetongbo and Kenema they face now. As is saying that because of the system for transfer the lights, not they in good condition, make all man not they able get lights together.
When I say about that, not so, there shall be light. But that light, for make it be sustainable, the present network, the present transmission line they will not get yonder is not go able to make all man get light at the same time. What we don't do, we get a project now where they revamp from Kenima, take her inside Bo, not only the transmission but also the distribution, so that that particular network or infrastructure will evacuate any amount of power to every part of Bo and Kenima. If we
not for involved from violence, because they say them for use the SLPP convention for show people
leading towards with flag bearer elections till until we come, but before we stand all of them one day until we go into the election and by the grace of God we win. So as a party, we believe in the practicing of internal democracy as always. We decide again, before doing a constitution, we reflect the wills and minds of our people. This new proposal now don't bring on some expansion. For example, the composition of the National Delegates Conference, whether they get 40, they will expand them. The composition of the...
Your work will be limited.
No, your work, the burden will be lighter. So a good, this is something when they sleep, we remember the government, we remember the party.
You are satisfied with the process?
Very, very satisfied. Very satisfied.
I've been same way so get the views of the SLPP women's leader, Fatmata Sawane. We talk about the woman in position during the SLPP constitution review.
We have disagreement and agreement. Later on we agree. That is what democracy and constitution is all about. Their feeling was they want the
The party maker may be president.
So this, from what they talking, a unanimous agreement on all come to and see, the president will be the leader and the vice president will be the deputy leader of the party.
Of course, that's the end result of the whole exercise.
So far, you satisfied with the whole process?
Oh yes, I enjoy it.
Mina Alhaji Mohammed Mugambo Safa, this is Chairman SLPP Bombali, a draft constitution for for let them do some amendment within they want and within they don't want inside it. Team be colorful and we look forward for adoption so that SLPP constitution in line with the Sierra Leone constitution for let it will become law in the SLPP. But we come up with the leader this time for let we involve to the policy.